Tonight wasn't just another game as the Islanders rolled into Montreal. It was also the return of one of the greatest to ever do it in Patrick Roy, new head coach of the Islanders, as we had a pretty special moment during the anthems. Obviously, a lot of love for the Quebec City native, but it didn't exactly start as Roy may have envisioned. Early, it was fashing, delay a game, put the Canadiens on the power play, and it was well oiled. Slavkovsky from Monahan and finding the bumper in Suzuki, the Canadiens would open the scoring with a pretty one. And while the Canadiens would get called for hooking, maybe more like a high stick, New York gave up not one but two odd man rushes on the power play with a brutal effort, and then wound up taking another penalty of their own, offsetting the power play. And 4-on-4, they cough it up, and Caulfield dances his way in, making it a 2-goal game, taking advantage and putting on a show. And they still had power play time left, which was enough time for another. Matheson finding Monahan wide open, and 3 goals, 12 minutes, stunning the Islanders right out of the gate, as Roy saw enough. Calls timeout, calms the boys down, and stopped the bleeding. And while the Canadiens would end up taking a pair of penalties over in the second, which the Islanders did take advantage of, Horvat getting his 20th. Ultimately, the Canadiens killed off the rest of it and got out of the period still up by a pair. So heading over to the third and final frame, this was the Canadiens' game to lose, making what Brendan Gallagher did next even more inexcusable. Pelech moving it up the ice, and he's hammered by Gallagher as Pelech stayed down, and he had just returned to the lineup too. He's had, I believe, 3 concussions now, recently out for a month, as you hate to see it. He would obviously leave the game, and the call on the ice was a 5-minute major, which, taking a look at it, it's pretty cut and dry. Gallagher comes across, basically looks him in the eye before making direct contact to the head. The chicken wing elbow, and it's the absolute definition of an illegal check to the head, as this is a suspension-worthy hit any way you look at it. No place in the league for it, and I'm sure he'll get at least 3 or 4. And look, I don't see Gallagher as necessarily a notoriously dirty guy. He plays on the edge, absolutely, but still, this is bad. And they deservedly gave him the match, which now put them down a man for a full 5 minutes, putting the game in jeopardy. Just so foolish. And sure enough, midway through it, Barzal walks in and rips it. He beats Montembeault up high, glove side, to make it just a 1-goal game. Roz liking what he sees, but the power play would continue, and Horvat to Dobson, rebounds there, and Palmieri scores. Great initial stop, but cleaning up the garbage, he would tie it up. And Roy's really liking what he sees now, as they would score 3 in a row to come all the way back. Again, a costly mistake from Gallagher to put them in this position to begin with. Now, having said that, the Canadiens responded immediately. Anderson to Monahan, and it's a rocket. Absolutely ripping this one. He scores his 2nd of the night upstairs, glove side, and just a great job to respond here. Because while the Islanders would end up pulling Varlamov and pushed hard late, even hitting the post, ultimately the Montreal Canadiens find a way to not let it slip away. Montembeault, stopping 44 of 47, holds on to take this one 4-3 in regulation in what was overall a very fun game to watch. The return of Roy to Montreal, great stuff. But this hit just can't have it, and you really hope Pelech is all right. But let me know your thoughts on this down below. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it very much, and I will see you in the next one.